Hello and welcome to That's Football. We're live and you're very, very welcome. Lots to talk about. A cold day in the UK. Arsene Wenger currently outside the Emirates Stadium blowing a snow machine trying to get it cooled off. His career depends on it. Is he going to be installed for a massive Manchester City humiliation if that game goes ahead? It looks very snowy, very interesting. There are rumours around Wenger again, and the board apparently have had enough with him. 68 now. He was saying yesterday, I've turned down all sorts of offers to stay at Arsenal over the years, which I'm sure he has, and I think he's spot on with that. But what you've got to remember is Messi could probably go and play anywhere he wants to at the moment and turn down any offer to stay at Barcelona and lots of money. In 20 years' time, when he's 48, no one's going to want him. And I think that's the perspective of what Wenger's saying there. So interesting. Will the snow call it off? We are doing a watch-along later on tonight. We'll be live at 7:30 for Man City versus Arsenal if you want to join us for that and want to have a bit of banter with the live comments and just watch a game. If you don't support Arsenal or City, that's probably the good place to be for That's Football, to do the watch-along with us. But away from Arsenal, let's see if that game gets called off or not. Want to talk about VAR, want to talk about football fans in general. Just a little bit of transfer news for you. It looks like Emre Can will join Juventus this summer on a free transfer. He was out of contract in the summer anyway, free to talk to clubs outside the Premier League in January. And it's expected that he will join Juventus in the summer, which won't come as a surprise to Liverpool fans. Much like Fellaini for Manchester United, really. Many people expect him to go to Galatasaray. There was a time when these moves would be announced, a bit like Goretzka and Bayern Munich, but obviously both clubs are still quite fundamental to their both players quite fundamental to their club, so maybe they're keeping it quiet. Anyway, VAR should be around, but the decision should be quicker, says Jamie, and Kingman says VAR out, ruined the game last night. Whether you watched the Spurs-Rochdale game last night or you watched Manchester United versus was it Huddersfield in the FA Cup, and then there was another game before that where there was a dodgy decision. The reality is Pochettino is spot on. Football's an emotional sport and VAR kills the emotion. And it does. I said this on the United Stand or on here a couple of weeks ago. I hate VAR because I like human error. I like Monday morning after a weekend of football. You go in, you support United, your mate supports Liverpool, your other mate supports Arsenal. Some of them do support their local team, so they do support Villa and Birmingham. I'm from the Midlands. But let's not go down that route. But I like the different decisions. I like the Liverpool fans saying, oh, it was definitely not a penalty for United. And then we are, yes, it is. And then the referee's made a decision, but it's borderline. That's what football is. It is passion, like Pochettino says. It is about you sort of being involved. I mean, the reason this channel will do well and the reason the United Stand does well is because we all interact together and have an opinion. The reason we love football subconsciously is because we feel involved in it. If it's offside and you're sat there with your family down the pub or even on your own and you're just talking to the screen, the referee might give a decision, but in your head, you might even talk to yourself. You might even say, no, that's not offside. He's got that wrong. And you know, you've got the courage of your conviction that, yeah, he might have given that decision, but in my mind, he's wrong. What VAR does, it takes that away. It will be cynical to the, you know, with the Mata offside a couple of weeks ago, it will be cynical down to the inch. Yeah, he's an inch offside. That, you know, there's no emotion with VAR. And it will also get things wrong. I mean, I don't agree with a lot of the decisions last night for Spurs. I want VAR gone. It sounds like a footballer. I want VAR gone. He plays for Colombia. He's a cracking striker. But no, I do want VAR out of football. I don't like it. In rugby, I watch the Six Nations and I watch the Rugby World Cup and I watch the Autumn Internationals. That's my ceiling with rugby. I'm a bit of a sort of fair weather sports fan with other sports because football is so engrossing for me and there's so much of it. But I do like to watch bigger events like the Ashes in cricket and things like that. I'll watch that, but I haven't got time to, you know, put time into another sport week in, week out like I have football. Rugby, I think the VAR or whatever they call it, it does work quite well because it's a stop-start game, much like cricket. And football's so fast and furious. And as Jamie said, I don't know, friend 2018. He says, is VAR at the World Cup? I don't know. But Aslan Baker says, it's bad. It's really bad. It's really bad. It's really slow, as Jamie said. It's ridiculously slow. On the TV, with the Mata one and the ones last night, we see it instantly on Sky or BT. They'll show the decision back and you've instantly made your mind up. Yet you've got to wait a minute and a half for the VAR referee or whoever it is to look at it and go, it was offside, technically he's an inch off. You know, I don't want that. I don't want that. And with offsides, I don't really care if they're 2 inches off. I mean, the reality is, Manchester United play Liverpool in a couple of weeks. I'm a Manchester United fan. If there's a ball into the box and Firmino's off by an inch of his knee, I'll laugh because Liverpool fans will go into meltdown. But actually, if I'm totally honest, that's not the sort of offside decision I want, because, yeah, it benefits me because Liverpool don't score against my team in that game. But what about a couple of weeks later when United are playing somebody and it doesn't benefit me? I don't want that sort of decision. I don't want that sort of accuracy on an offside. I basically just don't want VAR. I don't want it anywhere near football. I think we have this obsession with in FIFA. They've had it for years throughout my lifetime, where they're constantly looking to change things. They were talking about kick-in throw-ins, and I'm glad that disappeared, which was basically you don't throw it in anymore, you can kick it in. Well, teams like Wimbledon would have loved that. You know, you can blast the ball into the box from your own corner flag. I thought football has been around for decades. Well, it's not. It's been around for over a century. It's a very simple game, football. I think when managers try to, you're a fan of whatever club you are. You will know that you've had an opinion on a manager of your club, and you will know that somebody's come back at you and said, "What do you know? You've never managed anyone. You're not paid loads of money to manage that club." But we all know that, take Van Gaal at Manchester United, for example, or take Wenger at Arsenal, or take, I don't know, Conte at Chelsea, or Mourinho when he was failing at Chelsea. Every one of those fans of that club would have looked at the team going out every week and went, "He shouldn't be playing this formation. He should be playing them. They shouldn't be on the bench." And actually, you get proved right. So these managers who get paid lots of money and they've got great experience, they don't necessarily know more than a fan. And that's the beauty of football. It's a very simple game. You can be a passionate fan who watches every game on the telly, or a fan who goes to every single game, or a fan who gets up when you can. If you support your club and you're a football fan, it doesn't matter. You're passionate about it and you've got a decision. And that's the brilliance of football. It's an opinionated game. It's a passionate game. It's an emotive game. And it's a game that it's very simple. It's very simple. There's 11 people on both sides trying to put a ball into the back of the net. There are rules like offside and fouls, and that's great. But we don't need to start going ridiculous about it. I mean, it's like the do-gooders, isn't it? The left wing, here come the Liberals. Oh, there was a dodgy decision last week. We need to now bring in something that's so accurate it kills the game. Look, over the course of a season, it's the old cliche, it levels itself out, and I'm happy with that. I can never remember a season as a Manchester United fan in my whole life, which spans 3 decades, where I've sat there and gone, United have had 10 weeks of bad decisions. We've had bad decisions, and of course you remember the bad decisions, but over the season you'll get good decisions as well. We don't need VAR. We don't. I like human error. I like the linesmen getting it wrong sometimes because they're humans. I like referees getting it wrong sometimes. I hate it when it goes against my team, but the injustice of that is why football's the people's game. The injustice, the fact that that you can win a game and be elated, but you can lose a game on an injustice. It's passion. It's passion. It's emotion. And I don't want it. Aslan Baker says, mark my words, for VAR will ruin football. Mark my words, it will kill football. It will kill football. They've got to stop it. The fans have got to stop it. And I don't know how we do that. I don't know whether somebody is wanting to put up some sort of, poll, or, let's get it in the UK, let's get a poll going and let's have it discussed in the House of Parliament. I don't know, but VAR has to stop because it will ruin it for everybody. And it's funny when it's not against your club. Like, a lot of people thought it was hilarious when Mata's goal wasn't given because they hate United, but it will happen to every single club, and that's why fans need to come together. If you don't like it, it needs to stop. Pratik says human error keeps it interesting. It does. Human error, yeah, a lot of people are saying with that. Mark, it's the official job. The official gets played for refereeing, says Salim Hussein. Yeah, we agree with that. Pankaj says it should be a quick decision process, or otherwise it's useless. And Reynard Pierre said that the FIFA president said it could be in the World Cup, but definitely not in the Champions League next season. I don't want it. Let's get rid of it. Let's get rid of it. And Hemorrhage says, please include other fan channels host here, like Robbie, Sophie, or that Spurs guy. This show will be very entertaining. We'd love to see you all to discuss. Well, as I said with the United Stand, people are always welcome to come on the United Stand or That's Football. So we'll see what we can do about that. I did want to bring in another comment as well from Dortmund's president, I think it was, saying that English clubs treat their fans like I can't remember what he actually said. Let me have a look, because I've got the statement here, and I don't like getting things wrong. So he said they treat fans like clients in the UK rather than members. Now, if anybody doesn't know, in Germany they do treat their fans really, really well. They're really part of it. It's cheap tickets. It's you know, I think the clubs are pretty much owned by not necessarily the fans, but there's very much, they're in sync with the fans in Germany. Whereas in the Premier League, he's saying, you know, you're treated like, you know, I've said it many a time. What they are interested in us as fans is what is in our wallets. They are not really interested in our opinion, which is why fan channels are a great outlet. I mean, was it Arsenal Fan TV celebrating 5 years today? This week, big party. You know, people like Ian Wright there and stuff like that. I mean, that's fantastic that something just started up as a fan community is now as big as that, and it can do a lot of good. It can do a lot of bad as well. You've got to be responsible, but it can do a lot of good. But no, I'd agree with that. I think the way the Germans run their football is very, very good. You can't say that they miss out, because Bayern Munich do get very good players. I look at the ownership of many clubs in the Premier League, and you know, it's multi-global, isn't it? You know, you've got sheikhs from the Middle East, you've got Americans, you've got Russian oligarchs, haven't you? You know, nothing wrong with that, but how in touch with that is that with the fans, really? And yeah, we are treated like clients, and will that change? Again, I think like VAR, I think fans have become quite apathetic, and by that I mean I think fans just go with the flow. I think Sky sends you a letter out every year saying they're knocking it up by another £5, and you just pay it because you want to watch football. And let's not just say Sky, BT as well. Your season ticket might go up, your shirt price is ridiculous. I mean, I can't believe how much they cost for a shirt that they change every year now, and they change 3 shirts every year. It's money, 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 and that's what it's all about. And the reality is, the clubs collectively don't need all this money. They don't need to pay footballers 300 grand a week. They don't need to pay themselves millions in shareholders fees. It's football. It's the people's game, and it shouldn't be used as a stick to, you know, drain resources from your what is effectively your natural resources, fans. You take fans away from football, and it doesn't work. Footballers don't get 300 grand a week. Shareholders don't take millions out of the club. Shirts aren't sold for 70, 80 quid. They're not. But fans are very apathetic. Will there be a ceiling in the English game? Because it's not a worldwide problem. I mean, you look at what Germany do. It's not a problem they have. They don't look to rip their fans off. Will there be a ceiling with it? I don't know. I think fans need to come together collectively on many things, and I think fans really do need to realise that football is their game, and I don't think we do. I think we think, well, no, we're in the power of the broadcasters and the regulators, and we're not. We're not. Football fans own football. We're just very, very, very apathetic with it, because if football fans stop watching football, and that's the issue, it's getting a collective sufficient number of fans to start doing things that make these people think. Because if everybody doesn't turn up at Old Trafford for a week, that causes problems. If nobody buys an Arsenal shirt for 3 months, that causes problems. And it's like any problem, whether you're a politician, a boss, or you've got an issue with your other half. If there's an issue, you've got to solve that issue. And you know, I don't think fans, when they have an issue, cause enough of an issue to have their voice heard. And I'm not saying boycott games or anything like that, but I think there's so much tribalism in football. There's so much, even infighting within the same fans amongst the same club claims the same support. But the fans need a voice, a collective voice, and I think the more that can be done, the better. Do I think that the Old Trafford atmosphere is dull, and do you think it should be improved? Says Pankaj. Well, again, you look at what they're doing in Germany. It isn't dull there, is it? And we do suffer, and it's not just a Manchester United thing. I think most clubs. I've been really surprised by the last couple of games I've watched at Anfield, and the atmosphere is shocking compared to what I always remembered Anfield to be. And I think that's just the modern football ground in the Premier League, where you do get a very, I suppose, relaxed would be the polite word, atmosphere, a very transient fan base, where you get a lot of fans who at a game, I'd love to know the percentages, they turn up at a game, it's their first time, they go once because they might be travelling from around the country, or they might be travelling from another country, and then the next week it's another load of people, so you can't build that rapport of songs and understanding. the way around this for me is just that every club should have a singing end. You know, at Stretford End, at Old Trafford, the Cop. You know, collectively get a collective set of season ticket holders in one place who want to be there every week, make it affordable, and they are the atmosphere. Because an atmosphere at a ground, I mean, it builds, it spreads. If you've got a set of fans at one end, it will spread around. They might not sing as much as that end, but they can spread it around. People will respond to that, and I think at the moment it's too staggered around all clubs, and it'd be very easy to get it back. Just get a collection of fans in one area and sell it as the singing crowd. You know, simple as that. Sounds a bit corny, but there you go. Veshen Sajid says, you're selfish. Do you think referees like being abused about a wrong decision? VAR prevents that. I think that's one of the most ridiculous comments I've ever read, but it's your opinion and maybe other people agree with you. If referees don't like getting stick, don't do it. There's millions, well, not millions, there's hundreds of people queuing up to be a Premier League referee. I don't think Michael Oliver or Mike Dean really give two hoots about what the crowd abuse give them for 90 minutes. They're out there to do a job. They probably like being in the spotlight, and they're professionals in what they do, and they accept that there will be human error. I don't think referees really are crying out for VAR at all. I think VAR undermines them, so I disagree with that. Anywho, thanks everyone for watching. I've got a United Stand show at 1 o'clock. I've been on here for 20 minutes. We will be back tonight at 7:30 with a watch along for the Manchester City versus Arsenal game. If you want to join us, if you're going to be watching the game anyway, knock on That's Football and have some interaction in the live comments with us. It's going to be good fun. And then tomorrow at midday, I will be live again with a Premier League preview for the weekend ahead. So thanks everybody for watching. Man City Chelsea on Sunday. We'll be doing a watch along for that as well. So lots going on the channel. Keep subscribing if you're new. Bottom right hand corner, hit the icon there. Daily content now going up on That's Football for you. Really enjoying some of the chats we're having as well. More debatable chats in general, which is great, and I really want this channel to sort of get some traction, because then we can start doing Skype shows on here as well. So lots to go on with. Please do drop a like before you leave. I'll be live on the United Stand at 1 o'clock if you want to join me there and you're interested in Manchester United. Otherwise, tonight at 7:30 for the Arsenal Man City game. That's if Wenger can't keep blowing that snow out. And we'll be back tomorrow as well at midday. Thanks for watching. See you all later.